Durable Story, Episode 6, Black Hill. The gates of Black Hill closed with a deep metallic groan, like the city itself exhaled after holding its breath. Mark stepped into the southern fortress for the first time. The air smelled like metal, dry sand, and something sharper, discipline. Everything felt tighter here, more compact, more deliberate. Black Hill was only a third the size of Firebird City, but every inch of it hummed with purpose. The caravan slowed inside the gate yard. Before Captain Yara could issue orders, two figures approached with purposeful grace. The taller of the two walked with long, confident strides, perfect posture, and an expression serene. Her long blonde hair shimmered in the light. Lyria Ironwind. The second figure darted forward almost too eagerly, small, frail, and bright-eyed, with a curiosity that seemed too big for her tiny frame. Wren Ironwind. Together the sisters made a strange pair. Lyria bowed with practiced elegance. Welcome to Black Hill City. I am Lyria Ironwood. I have been assigned to escort you. Wren leaned forward, looking at Mark. He's softer than I thought. Lyria's eyes widened in mortification. Wren! What? He is! Mark sputtered. Thanks? Captain Yara coughed to hide a laugh. Solon Reed approached next, giving the sisters a subtle nod. Her intense gaze lingered on Mark a moment longer than usual. The father requested we greet you personally, Lyria continued smoothly, as if Wren hadn't spoken at all. Please, follow us. Wren bounced excitedly. We're giving you the fun tour, not the boring one. As Mark stepped away from the caravan, something flickered at the corner of his sight, a shadow moving behind a far rooftop. His breath caught. What was... But when he blinked, the shape was gone. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe. Black Hill might have been smaller than Firebird City, but it was denser, tighter streets, sharper angles, steeper walls. Everything was built for defense. Lyria walked ahead with elegance, Wren skipping to keep up. This is the metal spine, Lyria explained as they crossed an elevated walkway. It allows soldiers to traverse the entire upper city without disrupting the streets. Below, squads moved through formations with military precision. It felt less like a city and more like a living fortress. Wren leaned too far over the railing. People look tiny from up here. Wren, step back. They do. Mark smiled and froze again. On a distant rooftop, a figure stood briefly against the sun, cloaked in a dark cloth, arms folded, watching the street. Thane? But the figure vanished again when a gust of wind blew between the buildings. Mark frowned. He must have imagined it, right? Black Hill's marketplace was smaller than Firebird City, but bursting with intense energy. Vibrant stalls, tight alleys, colorful canopies, the smell of mesquite grilled meat drifting between vendors selling glass-blown art, desert spices, metalwork, dried cactus sweets, magically infused tool stones. This way, Wren tugged him towards a glass vendor. Look, swirly! Lyria placed a hand to her forehead. You have too many already. Wren picked up a glittering violet glass spiral anyways, but this one's extra special, Mark noted. It's beautiful. Lyria sighed. Oh, now she's definitely getting it. Wren bought it triumphantly. Lyria then presented Mark with a traditional Black Hill cloak. Stiff, heavy, ceremonial. He put it on, nearly toppled over. Wren laughed uncontrollably. You look like a walking curtain. Thank you, Mark said politely. They continued. Mark caught another glimpse of a familiar silhouette between two crowded tents, a tall, broad-shouldered, moving with a deliberate quiet. Thane? But again the figure turned the corner and vanished. Black Hill's barracks buzzed with activity. Rows of soldiers marched in perfect unison. Drills slammed rhythmically, metal striking stone. Instructors barked orders, and the air vibrated with purpose. This was where Father trains new recruits, Lyria said. Black Hill prides itself on readiness. Look, Wren pointed. Torin! Torin Ironwind, the eldest sibling, strode across the training yard. Stern, rigid, movements sharp as blades. His eyes found Mark almost instantly. He approached slowly. You're Lord Towerson. Mark nodded. Yes, I'm Mark. Torin's eyes narrowed, assessing, calculating. You're smaller than I expected. Wren slammed her fist into her palm. See? I told you! Lyria made a strangled noise. Torin gave the barest nod, acknowledgement or dismissal. then turned and resumed drilling recruits. He likes you, Lyria whispered. Really? No, Ren replied, but maybe he will. They continued the tour, Mark still unsettled by the occasional flicker of movement in his peripheral vision. He really thought he saw Thane again, but why would Thane follow unless he shook the thought away? The Shimmerstone Inn glittered with polished glass and mineral plates that refracted sunlight into rainbow fragments. Lyria chose a table with quiet grace. Ren immediately stole the seat next to Mark. They ordered flame roasted fowl with mesquite honey, some roasted sand lizard ribs, hot baked bread, and chilled prickly pear elixir. Lyria ate neatly. Ren ate chaotically, and Mark tried to follow Lyria's example and nearly dropped his fork. Ren snorted, You're hopeless. Lyria glared, Eat politely. It's too good to be polite. Their bickering was oddly comforting. Mark relaxed for the first time since arriving until he saw it again. A tall figure reflected in a glass panel across the room. Dark cloak, precise posture, leaning against a stone pillar. His breath hitched. When he turned, the figure was gone. Maybe Thane had followed him south. Or maybe Mark's mind was playing tricks. He wasn't sure which worried him more. Next, they went to the Sandfall Arena. It was smaller than Firebird's Coliseum, but louder. Voices echoed across the half dome as teams sprinted across floating platforms suspended by magic fields. Sand cascaded from overhead chutes, constantly shifting the ground. The sport required speed, reflex, agility, and daring. Larry explained the rules calmly while Ren screamed encouragement at random players. Mark found himself fascinated. It was wild, chaotic, and inspiring. Larry's voice softened. Our people built this to stay sharp. Black Hill has fewer celebrations, but we value strength. Mark nodded. It's amazing. Ren elbowed him. I bet you'd fall off the first platform. Ren! What? He would! Mark laughed in spite of himself. But then his laughter faded. Across the arena in the upper stands, he saw a silhouette again, standing still among the moving spectators, just for a heartbeat, then gone. Thane, if it's really you, why are you hiding? Eventually, they end up for dinner at the Ironwood Estate. The Ironwind Estate was large but not extravagant. Thick walls, sharp architecture, reinforced foundations, a fortress disguised as a home. Inside, the dinner hall was warm, lit by enchanted lanterns carved with swirling metal patterns. Commander Rusk Ironwind sat at the head of the table, stern, silent, eyes sharp as blades. Lady Serena Ironwind stood beside him, warm, composed, presence softening the room's hard edges. Welcome, Mark, Serena said. Please join us. Torrin sat rigidly, Lyria with perfect manners, and Ren bouncing in her chair. Dinner was surprisingly gentle. Torrin asked measured questions about Firebird City. Lyria corrected Mark's posture without speaking. Ren whispered commentary into Mark's ear. Serena kept the conversation flowing. Rusk watched quietly, storing every detail, but nothing dramatic happened. No magic flared, no suspicion erupted, no accusations, just conversation, ordinary, awkward, polite. Mark almost relaxed until dessert arrived. Ren leaned close to him and whispered, You know, somebody's been following you all day. Mark froze. You saw them? No, Ren said, but I felt them. She tapped her temple gently, just like you did. Mark swallowed. He didn't dare look at the window. He didn't want to see another silhouette. But he felt it anyways, the faintest prickle at the back of his neck. Something, someone, watching. Just like always, just like before. Black Hill was smaller than Firebird, safer, protected, surrounded by powerful warriors and Ironwind discipline, but whatever followed Mark south, it had made it inside the wall.